Good afternoon. Hey, this is John here, and I'm just going to show you what my ignition switch looks like on the inside of it. This is off of my 1991 Mercedes 500 SL R129, and I replaced it because the old one was bad and it was causing some issues. But this is the part where the electricity goes through. I don't know if you would call it electronic, but let's. This is a 14 pin, and this one fits from the early ones to maybe about 1998. You got to look it up online for your model, but I did research on it, and it fits a lot of models. The V12, the 500 SLs. I'm not sure about the 6-cylinder ones. You might check that. But anyways, this was about, a little over $100. They're still on Auto House AZ. This one's 110, so I think I paid 109, which isn't too bad. This is where your key goes this way here. This fits under the steering column, and it's not a whole lot of fun to get out. I'll go over that a little while, but let's just look and see what's on the inside. You're gonna think it's a printed circuit board with all kinds of resistors and stuff. No. Here, let's take it apart. There's get some light on it. There are these little catches here. And there it is. So basically, it's like a bunch of points. It's like copper points. So I'll pretend this is the key. Goes in. Let me get this thing to hold still. Come on, camera, hold still. So every time you turn it, let's see if you can see the points. There's like right here. There's a set here. There's a set all along here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Then there's one in here. And then there's 2. There's 2 right here. And they just open and close. So right here, the ignition is off, and you can pull the key out. Put the key in. First position. Second position. Ignition, it turns. It only turns once. It's spring loaded for the starter. And what happens, can you see that one moving? So they make contact, and just feeds different pins. And the issue I was having with my car was intermittently the car would just shut off when you're driving. Usually, like, you'd roll up to a stop, and then all the lights on the dash would start kind of flashing a little bit. And, some weird noises would be happening from the back of the dashboard. The rear view mirror up top would start making a weird noise. It had all kinds of weird symptoms. It took me forever to figure it out because it was intermittent. You know, it did it once, you know, it died at an intersection. It restarted right away and I took off, but it died. And I go, I wonder why is it doing that? And that did that, you know, 6 months later, it started doing it again. And it got, I started testing everything in the car and replacing parts. Nothing I did worked. Alternator, God, you name it, OVP relay, distributor caps, wires, bunch of stuff. I was, you know, going crazy. And then finally, I did it right down the street at a shopping center. And I was trying to restart it, you know, just you turn it and there'd be no lights. I tried jiggling the key, nothing, no lights. So I called the tow truck. And before the tow truck got there, I got in there one last time and took the key out, put it back in, and it started right up. I go, okay, so I drove home, about a block away, canceled the tow truck. And I said, it's got to be the ignition switch. And so it was, what was going on is there's a wire from the EZL, which is ignition module, on the left fender on my car, USA version. And there was a wire from that goes to this, and the contact for that EZL was bad in here. Now I probably could have cleaned, you know, taken a little piece of sandpaper and cleaned I did look in here with a loop and saw, you know, maybe not corrosion, but just yeah, maybe a little corrosion, but like electrical corrosion, you know, where there was a lot of power that goes through this, and it just eventually that contact just got dirty. Could have probably cleaned that out, but you know, it's good for $109. I don't want to be in the middle of the intersection and having the thing dying on me, you know. So I replaced it. The way that I figured the wiring schematic, it was on Benzworld. If you just type into the search on the R129 forum, just search replace ignition switch schematic. You'll get a bunch of posts and you'll find information, you know. And I did trace that wire, and that, you know, I was going, what the heck? I mean, so that's what's inside. Now, the later model ones, I think, I'm not sure, it could be 98 or 99 to 2002 or 8-pin. This is a 14-pin. And it controls a lot. So you could have weird intermittent issues. I don't think this thing, it might come apart, but you know, I didn't want to mess with it. There's a big spring in there for this, and this thing, getting this thing out is it's kind of scary. What there is there's an anti-theft part. There's the tumbler where you put your key in. That part's pretty easy to get out, but this part here, there's another part that has the steering lock, and if you're trying to get it out and you move that steering wheel just a tiny bit, anti-theft will activate and lock the car, and you're screwed. you've got to take it somewhere and have that removed. The anti-lock, it just locks the steering column, and man, they will charge you a lot. I think I had a 300 SC in 1990, and it had the key where the key wouldn't come out, and it wouldn't turn, and it wouldn't come out. And they charged me back, it was over 20 years ago, they charged me about $750 because it had activated the steering lock. And the only way to get that steering lock out of there is with a hacksaw upside down, cutting this anti-theft mechanism. Anyways, let me, I'll show you a little bit more. But anyways, that's what's inside there. It's just a bunch of little contact points that open and close. And when I did trace the the power to this, and just using an ohm meter with a continuity function and a couple jumper wires with alligator clips, I would just clip it on one and then the other one, and then when I would turn the key, I figured out which one of these which one was making an intermittent contact. I forget which one it was, but these are they're all numbered. Let's see. Yeah, they're all numbered. I don't know if you can see that, but each post has got a number on it, and that tells you what that wire is, what it's going to. Anyways, I'll show you something else. So this right here, I made this, and it's this is when you have the steering column, and there'll be like these these pins that come out of the steering column. Like, let's see if I can figure this out. Remember, this was a couple of years ago I did this, but you have like your steering column, and then there's a couple pins that come out, and these are the locking pins. And there's some device in here that triggers when if you move that steering wheel, those pins go like that, and they just lock the whole deal. And this thing, I made it, and you go and you get on this and you push those pins in, and then you put a tie wrap right here and just hold it in, and then you can take everything apart. That just defeats the anti-theft mechanism. Oh, by the way, I made this out of a bucket handle, because you can't buy the tool, and if you can find the original Mercedes tool, it's like $100 piece of wire. But I just went to Walmart, and I was looking at those cheap plastic buckets with the metal handle, and I had brought my micrometer with me. There's a certain thickness, and I was measuring these handles, and I go, wow, that one's right on. It was like $2 bucket at Walmart, and that fit just perfectly. Yeah, here's another homemade one that I found on the internet, and so I just copied the design. Pretty easy. Let's see, what else do I got here? Take a look at this. See, this is that device right here, and you get it in there. It's not easy. Kind of upside down on your back doing all this stuff. You have a lot of flashlights, headlight on your forehead. That's what I use. And then you push that in and defeat that anti-theft device. And this, I believe, this is where, you see that switch. This is the switch. Slides in this part like this, and the pins are down there, and that's where the tool goes in. All right, you can see somebody really tried hard, man, because there's one you can't really see. And there's the, that's what I got, to 14 pin. Yeah, same thing. And this is how you get this thing. This thing is behind. This is like laying on your back, looking up at the steering column. And there's this little door here that slides. You're supposed to push this. I think there's a hook right here. You push this and slide it back. Mine was super, super hard to get. I mean, I tried forever. And what I ended up doing was, it just had been on there. You know, the car had 37,000 miles at the time. So, you know, 37,000 miles, you think these things would last, you know, longer, but it's just age, right? It's gotta be, but to get this off, if you can't get it off, man, get one of the silicone spray with the little red straw and start squirting it in here like this, and then push down and then it slid right out. Let's see. Yeah, this is just gnarly. Yeah, you have to get this little door off to be able to pull the connector off that's on this. To get the connector off of this, that little door has to go away. So it shows here, slide it in this direction, I guess, yeah. It was definitely hard. And that's what the, that's what the lock mechanism looks like. The anti-theft. And that's what the tool in the anti-theft goes like that, here and there. And I think it's something slides out of here and locks the steering wheel, like, oh, somebody's stealing the Mercedes. And I read stories where, you know, something would happen and that thing would trigger, and the people just, you know, tow it to the dealer. And the dealer, you know, I mean, they're going to charge you a lot of money, because it's hard to, you know, cut that thing off. And there's the, yeah, I think that's my car, yeah. No, blue, maybe. No, it's got gray carpet. That's not my car, but. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the part number right there. Made in check. Yeah. So let's look under the car. Yeah, there's the there's the tumbler in there. It's pretty easy to get, you know, all this stuff out. I mean, see, now it's locked like that. Yeah, when that anti-theft goes, you can't turn the wheel. You know, you start messing around with this thing, and if you barely turn that wheel, it locks, and that's what you want to avoid. But it's, you know, it's pretty easy. I mean, at first, I just had to do so much reading. You know, you've got to undo this thing here, this right here, just put a couple these little holes right here. This thing just turns out. And then underneath, let's see if we can find a mirror. I threw my back out, so I'm not going to crawl under there. Let's see if we can see under there. Not the most ideal. Yeah, I can't really see too much, but there's just let's see, I get this light, like, yeah, see, there's just you got to take this panel off right here. It just comes off. This whole thing will come off and drop. And there's a few bolts holding it. Not real hard. Then once that's off, then you can access that little slide and slide that thing off. And but you've got to once this is off, you've got to get that tool in there to stop it from triggering, or else you're screwed, or take it somewhere. But I guess you could have just a lot of different weird intermittent problems, and it could be ignition switch related, because it controls a lot, you know. I mean, there's a lot of circuits that go through that. I know that there's some people, at first I was having a dash flash where my lights were, you know, the lights would be flashing on and off. And I was going, what the hell is that? So I researched that, and there was a lot of people that had bad capacitors behind the instrument cluster. And they replaced the capacitors, and that went away. And that's for dash flash, you know. But I was having other symptoms. I was having everything, the stereo, the climate control, the little lights here, weird noise light. I think there might have been either noise or lights. I know there was noise coming out of this thing here. And some clicking and stuff behind the dash. I was having other symptoms than just a dash flash. So, yeah, if you have a problem like that, especially if you come up to a stop sign and it just dies, and you've replaced your distributor caps, and, you know, you've done a lot of work to the electrical system, you know, new battery. Yeah, I replaced the battery. I did all kinds of stuff, and it took me like about a year to figure it out because it was so intermittent, you know. And then once I finally found the problem, that was, I think, over 2 years ago. I think it was 2018, 19, 20, 20. Yeah, it was like 4 years ago. And it's been fine ever since, you know. So this says 96 to 02 Mercedes R129, 500, 320 steering, ignition switch, and trunk door lock key set. So this one's only got, it looks like it's only got 4 pins, right? It's this part here. And everything is a little bit different, looking than the early models. I would not buy any of this stuff used. If you're going to replace it, buy new, because who wants to be in there again doing that, you know? It's like, forget it. So here's, let's see. This is just a replacement cylinder with a key, you know. I mean, that'll work, but what you could do with your, to open your door. I guess have another key. Mine's got the key fob with the infrared remote and a little square, you know, box, but that's what this part here fits into there. Like that, you know, something like that. And I think I have I'll show you a video of, I actually did a video of it when it was happening. Let's see if I can find that. Okay, now this is a video of several years ago when the problem started happening, and it got to the point where it was happening in the garage. Because before, I'd just be out, you know, doing my thing, and the car would just randomly stop, like it would just die. Engine, everything, the whole electrical system was just off, and it would do it intermittently, so I couldn't, you know, I didn't know what I was, you know, where to go, so I just started replacing stuff, you know, because I hate. Don't you hate it when your car dies in traffic? It's like, oh, look at that guy in his roadster. He's on the side of the road, you know. But yeah, this is. Give it a shot. Key. Let's get in here. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay. SRS light on, that's all that I got. Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't start at all. Nothing. Digital lock. Nothing. Let's try pressing on the brake pedal. Oh, the lights came on. Oh, lights went off. Press on the brake pedal some more. Yeah, people were telling me, weird noise coming from there. Press on the brake pedal, that'll make it start. I was trying everything I could. And now it started. I even checked out my brake light switch down there to see if it was okay, and it was. People were telling me that could be your brake light switch doing that. I just, you know, nope. Good voltage. Yeah, this thing really helped a lot. Put that in the cigarette lighter, and then you can get it on Amazon, 15 bucks. Yeah, if I can still find this on Amazon, I'll put a link to it. But it was the only one that would fit in the cigarette lighter, and you could turn it and be able to look at it when you're, you know, driving along and stuff. And usually I still have it in there because I like monitoring, and you'd be surprised how much voltage certain things take out of the, you know, the draw, especially the air conditioning system. I mean, it go from 14 volts down to 12 point something, but see, I was trying to figure out, is it electrical or is it fuel related? You know, I didn't know. Is it a fuel pump cutting out? I didn't know. But this is, I believe, after I got back from a shopping center where it died completely, and I got it restarted after about 20 minutes, and I drove home. And it was doing it right here in the garage, which I was going perfect. Now I can diagnose it and find it because it's doing it right here in the garage. So it took a while for me to find it because it was just so darn intermittent, you know. So anyway, so that's about it for my ignition switch lecture. Remember to disconnect the battery when you're going to be working on this thing here, because you don't want to short anything out. But check that out. It's just like an old Volkswagen. Points. They just go on and off when you turn in the key. So bizarre. One more thing I remember, I'll add. When I was driving and it would die on me. When it died at the shopping center, I was going over speed bumps slowly in the parking lot. So when the car would be on the road and it would hit a bump or something like that, it would just enough to jiggle whatever is going wrong in there and shut the car off. So that's one thing. If your car does that, then yeah, it could be the switch too.